All right. All right, the bias today is long. Here's the report. Filled out the bias pre-market there. Got a little bit of a open sell, but kind of typical for a gap up of this size. Ugh. All right, let's update these walls. A long bias. We got a long bias. See what we got. Where's the put wall at? We gapped up over the call wall. Oh shit, that way down here. Here's the VWAP. Get this, it's gonna hold here. I like this area for a dip buy, but you gotta see it hold back above. If it trades below, you gotta see it reclaim back above. So let's see if it holds. How wide would your place stop if you bet VWAP replay? It's structure based, so here, let me draw one out. Actually, it's right. Well, it's something similar to this. Like this. You below that wick. So like essentially what I'd be looking for right now if it does reclaim, this structure is not getting my attention. It's got to look a certain way too. Got a report running. Yeah, probability scan. Okay. So it's got to look like this. Morning, Matthew or Matt. It's got to look breakdown below and then come back in, come back and test, and then hold. It's going to be below where that first initial wick is, wherever that is. A few points below it, about 2 points. It could be like this. Essentially something similar to this structure right here. You have a pop back above VWAP, comes back in, puts in a higher low. Actually, I have pictures. Let me pull that up here. Check it out. Setups. Which one of these is it? Oh, 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 oh. Right here. You have setups like this that are very clean. This is, in this instance, is not doing that. I don't have any others. Dang, I don't have any others. Wow. Could look like this too, though. So it comes in, we gapped up. This is a gap up session. Gapped up. Breaks below VWAP. In this instance, that's what it's doing. Goes to the first standard deviation here. And then reclaims VWAP later that day, that morning. Stop would be below that low. Here. Targeting the IBH. And then after that, IBI. So it'll be, again, has to reclaim. It just looks different every time depending on how strong the trend up is or the gap up was. In this instance, it doesn't look very strong, but that's usually how they trap. Was a good short off open, that's for sure. I'm missing like levels here. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even touch this now. Just wait for it to reclaim VWAP. That's the only way I'll be long now. It's got to reclaim VWAP. If it doesn't do that, I'm not going to touch it for long. We can, let's see. We'll probably try to Where is the gap up one? I think the prior high is right here. And here's that prior week high. A prior value high. 68. So that's the thing, like that's my play, that's a playbook, right? I know how to play these gap ups. I have a when we have a gap up or gap down, I already have like two playbooks, two setups that I can reference when we have a gap up above prior day high. And then the only question is, do they trigger and do they meet the criteria? So if they don't, then I don't take anything. If they do, then you know, I know what to do. I know where to place my stop, I know where to target. I have historical hit rates of these setups working or not. The average point value for these setups. And that's kind of like what you see right there on the side of my head. I think you have the two setups there highlighted already. The true gap up reversion and then the failed breakout. So the short setup that's in red. What RR do I aim for? Minimum 1-to-1 on this setup. So each one's a little different. Here's the thing. I think we discussed this yesterday in terms of sizing. It's gonna depend on excuse me. It's gonna depend on how wide the stop needs to be, and then also like how clean the reversal is. So I would say this is a pretty okay looking one, but I would go one to one on this. I have setups that are 4-to-1, 5-to-1, 3-to-1, but those are very rare instances as well. They typically have to do with gap downs. It's holding pretty well. Let's see if it comes back to VWAP. Holds. Gonna give it some time. Ugh. No. Oh, excuse me. What up, Coco? Come back, man. Let's see. Let's renew this. Might have to actually. You know what? I'm gonna wait a little bit before I renew this. Let's see here. We can actually look at it. Oh. See if they can hold Bubby up. I'm good. How's it going? It's going, man. It's going. How's your morning so far? It's funny. Yesterday we had a Dow weak, NQ strong, and this morning we have NQ relatively weak off the open, and then Dow strong. Let's see here. Let's see. These are the instances where these have occurred. So let me go back and see if I can pull that. 416, 41. I don't know what my taskbar is doing that. Okay, it's holding okay. How is it? 50. I'm gonna give this a couple close here and see if it holds or not. Let's see. Come on. Get moving. It's kind of glued at VWAP. A little bit below. Pretty weak, somewhat. Let's see. That short yesterday played out. I mean, it unfortunately wicked a few times below the prior day low, below 71.49. It kept wicking below it, but it worked. I ended up getting filled on the dips yesterday on the short I had before I left the stream. This is not holding. I mean, they might just go for that overnight low, believe it or not. If they can't hold VWAP, but we'll see. I mean, they still have that first standard deviation test at 60s. All the internals are positive for the Dow, so we'll see if this is gonna be supported or not. And Q is kind of puking out. What time is it now? What's my bias? I'm long biased. But below like 162, like holding below that, I have to be short biased or neutral. Let's just say short biased to neutral. But I'm long biased now, currently waiting for a VWAP reclaim. So like right now, what I ideally would like to see, where's my drawing tool? Is kind of take out this low and hold and then get above VWAP as it's testing here. Could go reject, test this, and then hold VWAP from here. The 162 standard deviation. But we'll see. See, we're currently above the prior week value high. That's the reason I do like long still, as long as we're above it. But holding below this is where I flip my narrative, right, so to speak. This has been a pivot for me all week. I've kind of discussed that in the newsletter. So I write this newsletter every day. I've been referencing this prior week value high pretty much all week since we started Monday. And here's the bias. To maintain the parabolic leg, ideally we hold 167 and 170 weekly very high. to break into 7200, which we have a couple times. 7250, bulls fail. Next time the send would be 7050. Opening below 170s, revisit the priority low. That point of control area, the 145, 135 zone, and then value area low, 7120s. So it's like pretty much a midpoint. See the picture? Doesn't matter. So pretty much here, this little box area, let's just say, let me draw this out, a little box. All right, that's where like the median is for me for the day or for the session. Where the narrative kind of shifts. The pre-market scan says it's a long bias day. Inventory is net long, but could be a good or a bad thing. Where can I read it? Oh, that's a great question. I don't know why I don't promote myself, right? Like, why don't I sell myself? The fuck? There you go. I'll pin it in case anyone else wants to read it. Yeah, I post those every day. Kind of like my higher time frame view of the market based on context of using volume profile and time spent, etc. Here's the first standard deviation. This area has to hold to some degree. Got to get a reaction out of here. Otherwise, I'm going to be probably a fader of this pop. I don't really want to do that, so I'll probably do it smaller size, but we'll see. It's just patience. I'm not really a fan of large gap up days. I like gap down days to slightly flat days, you know, small gap down or up. Preferred days for me. Large gap ups are typically difficult to run with, depending on how big the gap is. If you didn't fill after hours. Doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo. Yeah, some buy delta coming in here. See, oh, let's actually, now it's time, 7 o'clock. Let's renew the gamma levels now. Because right now the gamma levels they seem a little bit off. The call wall is right here at 75, which is about where it's been all week. All week it's been at 7225. Today was at 71, 75 based on yesterday's options data. But I don't know. Seems a little sus. I'm renewing it, see if it refreshes anything. It might just tighten up if it does. The gamma walls might just get tighter. So that first standard deviation level is what I wanted to see hold, right? It's holding right now. Right there, right? So I want to see it hold and reclaim here. And then we'll talk about getting long. There we go. So they updated. Let's refresh this. Let's see, what does it say here on this one? Yeah, the basis was fine. Yeah, 71.25, 71.20, 70.25. Yeah, pretty much around the same spot. Nothing changed. Okay. All right. Well, that's good. The put wall moved up a little bit, but that's good overall. That put wall has been at the same spot all week. 71.20. It's like everyone's hedging at that area. That's going to be a massive level if it breaks down 71.20, which is, I mean, it structurally makes sense. It's the prior week value low right there. That gamma wall's been there every single session. It's like fluctuated between there and like the 70, 80. That's a nice wick hold. You just need to see the reclaim of VWAP. VWAP. I don't like having the call wall right below the VWAP. That's not a good sign. It usually is like a negative, not a good, it's a short sign, possible shorting down as a scalp. I see it based on the failed overnight high, right? Like failed breakout, so to speak. Is that what you're saying? What's the target, like back to VWAP or what? The overnight session VWAP? Lastly, value low. Okay, so you're watching it. You're looking for it to traverse the whole move down. I don't know where the value low is from last week. I just have a small chart. It's like a 15-minute chart I have open with the VWAP on it. I don't see the full picture on it. Holding pretty good here. Give me the WAP. The VWAP hold. There's a little rejection there. Not sure what that's about. That's right at the fucking call wall too. So with that being said, I will try a small short with that little small rejection. I'm just gonna lean on the VWAP for now. Whatever momentum that is, I'm not sure if it's going to continue. I'm gonna treat it as just like a one-off. Because if this starts to hold, it's just a trap, whatever that rejection was. I'm gonna lean on the call wall and VWAP for this little short. Ideally, I want to see it reject right away and come back lower. But if this starts to reclaim, I don't mind flip reversing here. But given that rejection, call wall, VWAP right above, I'll be a little flexible and just look for a short into 150s. Where's the edge of this high volume node? I got filled at the low end of that range. No matter. Whoa. See, I oh, this. Oh. Swiper, no swiping. Swiper, no 158. I'm moving to 158 just because that's where the prior 2-hour low is from midnight. I don't like taking scalps like that, but you're sure? Yes, I explained it when I took it, and I said why real quick. I'm not sure if I missed explanation, but I said real quick. I'm like, I saw the rejection right there, right at the call wall, and this little here. There was like a very strong rejection here, kind of spiked us down. So then I was, given that reaction, the call wall, VWAP, I decided to take a short. I'm willing to flip long right away, I said, if we start to hold above VWAP. My stop's right above VWAP for this in this situation. But given the momentum, the tape rejection, plus the call wall, I'm willing to take a short here and then target the 4-hour low from midnight to scale some out and then get into a runner. Because if this is going to break down, it's going to be a massive breakdown. And I'm willing to ride it out with a runner. So here's a 4-hour chart, so to speak. Here is where I'm targeting, 4-hour low right there, and this little scalp. I'm not really a fan of that, but I will take it. And if this is a true breakdown, because again, we're in this area, that value area high, value area low pivot, I'm willing to trail the runner on a breakdown potentially to revisit the 7120s. But primarily my main goal right now is to try to flex this short to neutralize the risk to some degree. Neutralize the risk by taking a pretty close target short, and then that makes the net stop positive, so to speak. Nice clean Jigsaw you use, CQG. Rhythmic. For the data on Jigsaw, it is Rhythmic, and then the one on Sierra chart, it's 1010 routing. So there's two different data feeds here. Oh yeah, the Jigsaw setup is, I created that color scheme. I feel like it's easier on the eyes, a little more appealing. But thanks. I have one too on on Sierra, but I just don't use it right here. Okay. Okay, I might just change it. Actually, what am I doing? I don't need to do that. And they swiped the low and held it. This is why I hate shorts in general in this kind of market regime, because they're really hard to pay out quickly. They swipe the low and fucking look at the Dow's breaking out. The Dow's actually breaking out right now. We'll see if this plays out. Again, I'm holding it to that VWAP level, but shorts in this regime are just, they take a lot of patience. Just like yesterday, I was in a short for I don't know how long. It doesn't really matter how long I was, but it took a while and the short played out yesterday. Just fucking slow. Okay. Well, got a real rejection. You know, sometimes like I don't I will not look at the market. I will do other things. Here's a scale. So let me explain like why I was looking for such a tight target. First of all, this isn't part of one of my playbooks, nor is it something I've been looking for stalking. I saw the the rejection on the DOM plus the call wall and VWAP setup. This is not really a playbook setup, so I'm willing to take a smaller take profit. I'm not really a fan of taking 7-8 points, but I know that my stop loss now is protected in the sense that it's structurally where it needs to be, above VWAP for the short play, and I can ride this out if this is a higher time frame breakdown. I can ride it out to, you know, the 7120s now if I wanted to. If I see it going that way, of course I'm malleable, I'm willing to shift, but if this is a higher time frame breakdown, which it looks like it may be, I don't know yet, because we're breaking down the 4-hour. My idea was just to take profit at the break of the last 4-hour print here as they sweep it, because they have a tendency to do that. But if this breaks down, like I wrote in my newsletter, and holds below the 170, 7170 on the S&P, we have the possibility of testing the 7124, 7135 area. And that's, for me, is I'm willing to try that while structurally keeping the stop where it needs to be, but protecting the position so it's not a loss in the event that, because it's not a planned trade. So I'm not willing to hold size on an unplanned trade. Because I'm coming back to my entry there, see. They love to do this on the S&P where they sweep lows, pop, sweep lows, pop, sweep lows, pop. It's part of its nature. I mean, look at yesterday, for example. It's all it did yesterday. And then here too, on right here, it just does it all the time. Okay, let's see. Doing something else, yes. Yeah, see, look, it might just reclaim the VWAP, and I'll flip long there, but otherwise, chilling. Script uses Y-finance to get the index spread between. Anybody you guys use I keep asking this every day. You guys use AI in your trading? That's pretty much all I'm doing. I guess not all I'm doing, but I use structural understanding of my understanding of market dynamics and price, and then I kind of feed that knowledge into a database that I have access to, and then I use AI to help me backtest my ideas. And tweak them a little bit to maximize risk loss, take profit. They're gonna see. This is exactly why I wanted to scale quickly, in case it did this shit. Easy to find. Hit the VWAP again. All right. The Dow continues to break out. It's pretty strong today. What's going on with the Dow here? What's got it moving? Caterpillar? Oh shit, cat's up 9%. Wow. Google's up 5. Not bad. Eli Lilly is up 8. Interesting. Where's Amazon at? Did Amazon not? They just, oh, they're flat or down 1. Okay. Glad I waited for that with that short. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like it continued higher, huh? Excuse me. Yes. Oh, okay. How do you use it? Ooh. Oh shit. I think I hit the wire. Fuck. Now we just hold this trade and see how it plays out. I'm willing to add to this trade on a breakdown, but we would have to hold below 160, 7160, holding below that. I would be willing to add a little bit more size, just maybe the 2 contracts that I took off. And I would be targeting the overnight low on that setup, but who knows? I mean, we got to see this thing. It's kind of just chopping around below VWAP so far. I'll be right back. We got a little push here, momentum. Time is it? 7:30, right at the IB setup. Let's see what they do with this here. There's more momentum. It's holding view up. We'll see if it can reclaim fully. All right. What I'm gonna do here? Where's the view up? Duplicate. What we're going to do is we're gonna put a little back testing right now, just to kind of go over one of the setups I gave earlier. Gonna get trailed out here. All right, so I got trailed out there. I'll put a bid here around here, see if they can fill me. And the stop will go at the IB, just a couple points below it. See if that fills me or not. Something like that will be the setup. I'm not long yet, but I just have a bid. All right. Gonna be fucking trap, fucking trap. We're long, but this feels very trappy. Just given the fact that we just ran up past VWAP on some bullshit like yesterday. Seems like yesterday, honestly. And then we immediately retraced back below. Yeah, it's on some bullshit. I'm gonna flatten this out. I'm not even gonna let this right out. This seems like a trap. Fuck them, dude. Fucking assholes. I'm not even gonna mess with this. This should have held and then continued with momentum. If it gets back above it, I'll try it once more, but I'm not gonna hold this stop loss. It seems like it's some bullshit. I'll probably get back in short, use that as my stop. And then we'll target the IB low again, similar as earlier. Get back into the same setup more or less. Gets above that, above the little spike base, and you know, I'm completely wrong, and I got whipped out back and forth. I'm not surprised either, because just this area here in general has been fucking whippy as hell, right where we're at. You go back this whole week, this has been like a giant pivot all week. This whole area. Look at it. Above it, we go to 7180. Below it, we go to 7150. So it's been some bullshit today this week with some this area being like a chop zone, so to speak, a large one at least. So we'll see. We will see. Okay, I was gonna do here is trade, go to. And then we'll go to, what does this say? Where's the price here? Okay. Here's one setup. So what I'm doing right now is back testing the, going back to, I have a count, let me explain. So I have kind of back testing the gap up reversion setup, which is the long setup that I had this morning. I have it right next to my head actually. Going back to a few dates because there's a few dates when this trade triggered. So we got 4/16, 4/1, 3/25, 3/23, 1 January 28th, January 27th, January 22nd. I think January, I might assume the first. I have to look back. December 22, November 28. These are all the instances in which the gap up long trade worked out. So there's one example we're doing right now. I'm just gonna back test it in the meantime while I watch this thing play out. Because this session had a gap up or is open. We had a gap up from prior close, and we came back into VWAP, held it, and then went higher. Okay, there we go. And it targeted exactly where I had my targets earlier when I was long right now for this little weird chop. Was IB high first target and then overnight high second target. It needs to hold VWAP, and it looks like this in this instance, you had a gap up, immediate pullback, hold VWAP, respected it, and then continued higher, which is ideally what I was looking for here. Didn't do it. Could still do it. It's just we're gonna backtest a few others to see how it usually respects VWAP. Sometimes it's very messy the way it respects VWAP. It's never clean like that. 325. Pulling a data report here. In this one, it looks like, yeah, gap up here. This is the gap. Gap broke VWAP, so here's the break of VWAP. And then it did a overnight low breakdown. Wow. This is a messy one. We gapped up, still went higher even though we gapped up. But in this instance, it even took out the overnight low. And the overnight range was pretty narrow on this one though. This one's pretty wide. So this one has swept the overnight low, reclaimed the first standard deviation, and then went about its day. So pretty ugly grade. Oh my. This has got to be like a day where there was probably some sort of meeting or something. This is a nasty ass day. Jeez. What else we got? 323. All of March was a mess. Let's go to January. January 27. Where are we at? January, I think we're higher. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I put the wrong date. Shit. There's got to be a news catalyst here coming in. What did I put? January 28. Oh, this chart doesn't go. This chart doesn't have data back to 28. Okay. I'll probably have to load more data to do it. Momentum's kind of building up on the tapes here. Again, it still keeps teetering below that call wall and VWAP. It's the only reason I'm kind of hesitant on longs. Feel like a failed break there. Okay, let's load more chart data here. Intraday. Let's do 180. Should be able to go. Okay, where is price? Where's the priority close? This is a gap up day again. A gap here. Overnight low. Overnight high was up there. Where's the open? Ah, this is a failed setup. This did not work either. Gap up, not a good one. A couple of the gap ups that I found, 2 of them so far have failed. 12. The hell? It took me to the most recent date? Why? Oh, I put 26. That's they're back above EWAP again. 2. Yeah. I see another gap up session. Gapped up from the overnight, and then it just kind of tripped around VWAP. And very messy. The gap up sessions are fucking messy. Not very pretty at all. They chop around for a while. This is not new here. We're doing exactly that right now. All right. Here's a pop again, back above EWAP. At this juncture, if it just continues, I'm going to watch after this. I'm not really going to re-enter or take any more trades. This is just very messy. Here's my stop again. Okay. There's my stop up beacon. If it's a tick away. Ah. Yeah, there you go. All right, well. There it is. Where am I at? Minus 11 bucks. Oh, minus 30 bucks. Damn it. Oh well. They're pushing now. Let's see if this continues and takes out the IB high or not. All right, I don't need this one here. Motherfucker. Well, that was the wrong one. Fuck me. Oh well. Go to. There you go. All right, well. See if this resolves to the upside. They're finally breaking up after they failed to trade below the first standard deviation. The tape just died down here. What the fuck? Go. There's a squeeze. Wow. They hit it. Hmm. Do, 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 do. Yeah, I'm pretty much locked out of this rally or long now. I attempted to short. I tried long. I felt like it was a trap. I was definitely wrong. So now I just wait, do nothing. See if anything sets up before then. Because if it once it takes out the IB high, it's going to be a strong, probably a trend right into overnight high. If we start to trade here and then kind of chop around, we likely trade higher to the end of the day. And then we probably break out into Friday, given that we're near the end of the week, into this second standard deviation area. Right here. If this continues and holds into Friday, around 180s, end of the day, into tomorrow, we probably can run higher, break out. Cleans up the poor low here, a poor high here. And then test this standard deviation wall from January, February, and April. Where's the March one? Oh, the March one's really up there. All right, let's work on this here. In the meantime, I will work on something else. Files. Oh no, it's not here. There it is. Are you seeing similar gaps on it? All right. Did we update your script? Just put those local magnets. Hmm. No, it's fine. Oh, no 2-hour print just started. About what, 8 o'clock now? Okay. Euro close in about half an hour. Is failing to reclaim that minus development candle? I wouldn't consider that, but yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, there's micro failed reclaims, so technically on a very small structured frame, that could be it, yeah. I don't really focus on those, but yeah, I would, you can classify it as that, sure. I personally do not like to focus too much on those microstructures, but if that's your thing, you know, you're trying to scalp that structure, then you can classify it. I'm just not, I personally wouldn't take that. I would, I see it, like, if I squint with one eye, no, but I do see it, but I just I don't really like that. If you're scalping, I guess it makes sense. But good question. The only setup I'm interested in now is if this fails, I'm willing to short. Um, as I see a potential breakdown, but I don't know if there is one. Either that or we just revisit the VWAP again and we kind of get long somewhere around there. Dow's pulling back here. NQ is retesting VWAP but rejecting from actually no, it's right above VWAP. So NQ is above VWAP. Just did a push back into the overnight high. And the Dow was pulling back from the highs. So we might get a little bit of a reversal back down if that continues on the Dow and the Nasdaq, but we'll see. Overall trend is still up. We gapped up, held so far. Let's see if you implement a local flip logic based on the power. Sorry, I'm reading stuff over here on the another chart. Um, I'm having, I'm just queuing some things on Gemini. I'm trying to improve the overall visibility, like how this looks. I don't like how this looks. I got all the data here, but this image here, I'm not really a fan of. Like, I don't like how it looks. It gives all the gamma levels and the gamma flip and the gex at the money, but I wanted to see it. It looks, it's just it's too compressed, the image. What are your settings for VWAP? Just VWAP. It's VWAP starting at start at the overnight session. It's a full session VWAP on TradingView. I'm not sure. I think just VWAP in general, if they have it. I'm sure they do. Just anchor it to the start of ETH or the electronic trading hours. I reference VWAP a lot, so if you want to have it as a reference, sure, but I use VWAP a lot. I reference it for a lot of things. It gives me a lot of context. The VIX is below 18. Look at that. So let's see. On TradingView, it's anchored to the whole session overnight plus RTH. So yeah, -2. It's anchored. So if you go look at my VWAP, it starts here when the session opened. So it opens here and just carries forward. It doesn't reset anywhere. It just carries all the way through. Oh. Would you like full updated and generate function code? Zoom changes. Um, to help you define those, they might put the following local. This, so I'm reading it here. I had this one. Well, this kind of plays out. I'm just doing something else. Typically what I'll do. Oh, it should be here in data. Where? No, daily, weekly, gamma, no. Let's see. Where did I have it? Oh, yeah, it's on this one. That's why. Instance 2. Huh. Where the hell do I have it? Not here either. Where is that CSV file? So actually, as I'm touching on this, let me pull that up. We go back to earlier. Oh, wrong one. This is one of the scenarios that I said potentially. I fucked up today, potentially. Trying to fade what was the plan. I did the opposite. So let me, I should have just been more patient. Here it is, this one. Yeah, right here, look at that. This is, we open above. And we had a gap up and then come back into that first standard deviation, hold, reclaim VWAP. That didn't happen in this situation. We went a little bit higher than that. We tested exactly here. First standard deviation, then reclaim, and then continue into the IB high, which is right where we are. IB high on here. Overnight high. We're about to kind of take these out in a few. So, I mean, I'm waiting. The only thing I'm waiting for at this instance now is if that IB high and overnight high get taken out. If it does, then I missed the trade of the session. The playbook was correct, and I didn't take it. But if it doesn't take the IB high and overnight high, if it doesn't trade above these levels and it begins to fade, then there's a potential second scenario here afoot. We'll see if it plays out or not. So that's pretty much what I'm waiting for. Otherwise, I would have called it a day. I'm waiting to see if these two levels get taken out. If they don't, then I have a setup that I can trade into for a secondary playbook. But other than that, I'm waiting for that to occur. Just giving it time to do what it wants to do. Where is my data? My chart? Oh, is it this one? No. Am I doing something wrong? It's not going to be there. Oh. Oh, here it is. Where was it? In data? I've been clicking on data. No, no, this is not it either. Sorry, I'm talking to myself. Here it is. This data didn't update though. Huh. 420. That's 10 days ago. Let me see. Hold on. Let me pull this report. Wrong one. Okay. Where's the report at? Oh, it's right here. Okay. Current price. That's right. VWAP. Okay. Bands. Overnight high. IB high. Overnight low. Okay. And then open mild bullish. Get a mild bullish open. Sorry, I was reviewing my CSV file because it said it hadn't updated since 420, which is Monday or last week. But it did. It is updating. You can see the stats being pulled are currently here. So mild bullish bias. This one also said a mild bullish setup here. Gap up open. Gap up mean reversion armed, which is the true gap up. Okay. All right. So we're trading up here. What has it been now? Like half an hour? Let me take a look. Yeah, about half an hour, give or take. Yeah, half an hour. Well, I'm waiting to see if volume starts to hold here. It doesn't seem like we're getting a lot of volume. We're getting a lot of time here. 30 minutes, not too much yet. We're not getting volume to trade here. And the reason I say that is I'm looking at the TPO volume profile chart above my screen. So this could be signs of a weakness here to reverse lower. Probably in the short term. I just don't know how deep the pullback will be. Will it be to VWAP? Will it fail? I have no idea. But overall, the TPO and volume profile, there's a divergence there between the time and volume span. I wouldn't say I want to short it, but if there's signs that we can start to dip, the primary target would be VWAP somewhere around here. All right, to finalize this, would you like to provide the complete update gamma with all these changes? Yeah, let me give you the path. Do you have the CSV path? All right. All right. Let's run it. Oh, there's a squeeze here. Oh, I didn't see what it said. Yes, failed calculation rise. All right, let's see. Oh, I gotta run it again. What's that error mean? Oh, come on, dude. Stop doing that. Ah. There's some buying coming in here. I don't know if it'll hold. It looks like it wants to go for a breakout. Consolidated for a little bit. Okay. Euro close here. Not much is happening. A lot of buy delta for sure. I don't know if like what I. Sorry, I'm gonna do something. Just trying to break out, you can see the buy delta kicking in. See if it takes out the IB high. If it doesn't, and it starts to trade below here, it's like 190 area. Could be a trap buyers. We'll see. There's the break. So that's not a good sign. I mean, that's not a good sign, but that means that most of the trade setups for today, for me at least, are not bad. I don't have anything else to trade, more or less. IBH broke. Trend is up. The probability of failure drops significantly once they break the IB high. All right, I'll see you. Thanks, Matt. Take care, man. Stupid ass fucking thing. Yeah, I'll be here for a few, but I personally right now, I don't see a high probability trade. Given the IB high is taken, we still can trade lower, but I think it'd be a viable dip if anything. Bro, I keep getting the same error, you dipshit. Hmm. Hmm. Still giving me the same error, dude. Why is it doing that? Oh. Price hit the eye behind, then pulled back. Tested what? 7,200? Yeah, 203. Getting some net selling here. Okay, breaking back below first standard deviation. You give the Nasdaq gets below VWAP. Put a price alert here. Dow continues to trend. Nothing wrong with that one. All the internals are positive still. There could be a reversion here afoot, but I don't know how strong. That's the problem. See what happens. Keep an eye on the failed move up, if it is one. Gotta accept below that value high, 190 here. If it accepts below, might be a breakdown to VWAP. Still another error. Ah. All right. No, you don't use AI. Why not, man? Why not? Get on the crack train. Use AI. Take a puff at the AI bubble. Take a puff. Puff, puff, pass. No? What AIs, if you guys do use them, which one is it? Which one? There's so many models. See how this this, I don't know if we can break down. Volume's pretty thin, but if we accept below 190, it might be a An acceptance back in value. We'll probably back test what? Where's point of control? Like 170? Yeah. 170 slash VWAP. I like it. It comes back lower. It needs to accept below 190 though. Here's the edge of the value area. Trading. So the blue is anything that's value area high, pretty much. Value area high is blue, and the gray on the DOM is the value from the current session. So if we start to accept back below into value, then you know, I do like a short for a failed breakout, but we'll see. All right, well, let's take a stab at it here. If it fills at 91, and there you go. I'll have to take a tight stop on this though. It's gonna have to be right here at this high. And then the take profit is VWAP, like I said earlier. Just above. And then we'll kind of see what happens from there. Okay. But overall, counter trend, not really a favorite, but volumes kind of slowed down. We had a lot of buying taking place right before we broke away. Could be leading to trap buyers, revert back to VWAP, see if there's buyers there to hold it back up. But it needs to accept, like I said earlier, I don't think I can draw on the DOM right now, but it needs to accept below 190. I kind of took it ahead of time, but it's got to accept below that 190 area back into value. Otherwise, price remains imbalanced and it can trade higher. So instead of a short, this could be more of a technical long, so to speak. Right. So because currently we're like in this little, think of it like this. How do I draw it? Let me see. Like this. We have a it's more like that. We currently have a auction like this. We're holding above it. So technically price is imbalanced away from the opening auction here from value. So it's more of a long auction setup if you believe in the breakout. So it can, and then you'll target the overnight high, something like that. All right. Let's see the Looks like NQ broke below VWAP. See if it holds below VWAP. Let's see. Yeah, still giving me an error. Damn. Hmm. All right, let's see. It's accepting back within the value area. You can see the DOM right there. It's accepting just below, right at it, but need further weakness. Otherwise, it's just gonna push out. I wrote a little note there. It says accept below. Let's see. Yeah, it's coming back in. This could be a failed breakdown instead of a breakout. We'll see. I'll give it space, but this is not really failing lower. It's coming back in out of value. So I'm gonna probe below into value, into the value area. And I can't draw on the DOM, but the gray area, and now it's pushing back out with momentum right now. So that could just be an indication that we want to imbalance out. I'm going to give this space to see if it continues. But this is not what I want to see, essentially, for a short trade. You want to see it start to fade out and just puke as soon as it gets back into value. Instead, they're buying it out of value, continuing the breakout. And they might want to trade into that overnight high. So we will see. It starts to reclaim above like 194 right here. It's probably going to get momentum to push higher. There's 194. Let's see if it holds that 194 area. If it does, I'll just find out. Okay, yeah, it's holding. All right, we'll find out. I'll just flip bid, and that'll be my only trade here. We're going to take it all at the overnight high. And that'll be the target, more or less. There we go. Looks like there's more momentum coming in. See if this continues to break out. Did we get that breakout played into overnight high? Here's the stat as to why this trade, or why that target, I should say. Right here. So we have the overnight high or overnight low touch, 99%. And so typically we will always trade or touch the overnight high or low at any given session. Here's a stat for the IB, 70% IB break. We already broke the IB. The IB stat already triggered. There's a 78% chance we trade an IB. The other stat is the overnight high, which is where I'm targeting. Go. That's a second test of that 203 that fails. All right, well, I'm gonna end here. I'm gonna let this trade play out, see if it stops me out or takes profit. I'm getting momentum to the downside. Who knows? That's my final trade of the day anyway. We either take out the overnight high or we fail and we just chop around. My assumption is the trend continues a little bit. Nasdaq's trying to break out. It's kind of stuck between VWAP and it's kind of stuck between the overnight range, so to speak. The Dow is just straight trending. It has not pulled back today. So I'll be back tomorrow. Have a good day.